And then this time we recorded with Taylor Hahn.
Right.
We know Taylor Hahn.
Yeah.
And so like it was a big
Should
deal.
we tweet about this?
Cost a bit of money.
Yeah, we probably
All
should.
that shit.
Oh yeah, we know all about album costs.
Yeah, exactly. So when it came time to like sell tickets and stuff, people would ask for free tickets or free copies of the album or free this, free that, and I was like getting so pissed off because I was like, this cost like my whole fucking tax return and everything beyond that. And then I was like, how are people gonna know? They don't know. Like people who don't play bands, they don't get it. So I can't really be mad. And so I had the idea for this, and then it took a whole summer for me to, oh shit, we're live. Anyway,
Nice.
took me a whole summer to convince myself that people were gonna listen. So, hello everybody.
What's up?
When you eventually see this. All right. I'm gonna go start the recording.
I'm gonna go silence my phone.
Don't do it. Let it go off in the middle. It'll be really funny.
How do I do this?
Gotcha.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about going live. Anything could happen,
True. The world could end.
and I'm held responsible for it.
You're responsible for the world ending.
It's clearly Jake's fault.
Could you imagine the kind of
I mean, if the world ended, it's not like you would get backlash. Everyone's gone.
I'm totally keeping that on there. Hey guys, Almost Maine, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Super pumped to have you guys here.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
That was such a generic answer.
Yeah, I know.
No fakers on here,
All right, well,
mister.
I'm sick
Keep
of
it-
being here
keep it
already,
fresh.
actually, and I've hated this time so far.
We're being held hostage.
This is gonna be interesting. Damn, I feel like I have to lean a lot. My scoop.
You want me to
Get
in
make
here.
a scoop?
Bodily difficulties. Not really bodily difficulties.
Bodily.
That's my favorite difficulties.
All right, so tell me and the listeners a little bit about yourselves.
You first, me first.
Okay, cool.
You talk first, I talk first.
You go first.
I'll go first. So I'm David. I'm the singer and rhythm guitarist of the band. I helped founded the band. I can't talk right now. I helped start the band back in 2012, and one of the 2 original members now, which is super cool. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about me. I'm the one who does all the lyric writing, and that's
So basically, doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
pretty much,
useless.
Pretty much.
I totally get that.
Which is a
I mean,
perfect way. I'm the drummer, so that explains a lot. I just do
drummers
drums.
just hit stuff.
Yeah, that's all we
true.
do. I don't even think about it.
I would never
There's nothing
be a
to
drummer.
think about.
Yeah, you'd be super lame with your drums.
Yeah. Anyway, now that my heart's broken, I'm the drummer.
You didn't want to be here, remember?
Yeah. I'll just not talk about it.
Okay. Anyway, sorry to keep interrupting you.
So if you guys didn't know, from the past 3 times I've said it already, I'm the drummer, and that's kind of the primary thing I do. I can help here and there with other stuff, but primarily I'm just drums, and I'm just the one who sits in back.
Co-founder.
Yeah, I'm one of the other original members that's
You are?
been here since 2012.
Oh, damn.
Every other person you see from here on out is new, or newer, I rather.
True.
So
We're missing one person.
we are
correct?
missing
Correct.
Michael right now. He is working
But
because he works all the time.
He does.
you guys are going to be getting a 4th member soon.
Potentially,
I
we'll
see.
see. We're
Maybe-
trying. That's the goal right now.
We're trying out some new stuff actually. We're since 2016 we haven't had a bassist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
very
been a while.
tail end of 2016.
Something like that. Yeah. So
October.
we haven't had a bassist since then, and we kind of haven't felt the need to have one.
Yeah.
We've just been using backing tracks, and Michael is a good enough bassist that for tracking purposes,
Mhm.
we actually have some solid bass lines. But we lately have kind of felt like maybe we're missing out on something. So we've been trying out some new people and trying to find at least a fourth, and then
Yeah.
maybe even a fifth member. We're kind of undecided.
If we want
on
to
that.
get really experimental with how we want to go about things, but
Yeah.
that's all stuff we are still kind of working
Up
out.
in the air.
Nice. Did
Like
you
a
guys
boat.
feel like confined by the backing tracks? Because that's always been my problem. Is
Kinda.
like there's no room for like improvisation. You know.
Whenever we wanted to kind
And
of like
you're
change
a
something,
sick drummer.
Thank
you
you.
got some sick. I mean, you're a good guitar player, but I was just gonna say you got some sick. Like you get the crowd involved. You know.
You're a
and
sick drummer. You look sick.
How did you plan that beforehand with backing tracks? It
Yeah,
just seems like a bitch.
Whenever we play like a cover or we want to change up how, because a lot of times we'll change up how we play songs live. We'll
Yeah.
extend bridges or make an intro or whatever. But it's kind of hard to do because we can't just say, oh, we're gonna make this change and this is how we're gonna play it. Like we have to record. We have to go track and edit the
Mhm.
backing tracks to accommodate for whatever changes we made, which is kind of annoying. But we've made do with it, and on top of that, it's just more movement on stage. That's
Yeah.
a new personality to bring to our what we can bring to everybody, like our whole like
Dynamic.
persona. Our whole dynamic is just adding on to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we were doing fine as a 3-piece, but
Yeah.
Just missing something.
yeah,
I
like
feel like maybe. Whoa. Wow.
It's different
I'm
having
on
that.
fire today.
it just adds a new element that I feel like
Yeah.
we could definitely benefit from.
Right.
Yeah, and adds that like personal aspect to it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Right. Well, and like our biggest step up was actually moving towards the backing tracks, because while it does kind of confine you in one way, it also opens up a lot because it adds a lot of energy. Actually, we were just talking
Yeah.
today about this, how having the backing tracks on versus not having them on, it's a monumental difference. And for us, like shows where we can't use our backing tracks are
Yeah.
not nearly like we
Yeah.
don't feel like we've done nearly as well, because it's almost like
It's almost like
it's almost
that's a
like
whole
taking
new
away a
instrument.
member.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that in itself is like a whole new element that is part of our whole. And if you take that away, we're not at our like 100%, basically.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
especially if you have it and then you don't have it. Like,
exactly. Like,
That
yeah.
transition from bass to no bass is it's a big difference.
Yeah, certainly.
And it's I think people don't give bass enough credit.
No,
No.
It
not
is
at all.
such an important part of a live
Like,
show,
literally-
especially.
I was at a show recently where it was State Champs a month or whatever ago. But
Shout
the
out to
bass.
state champs.
Love you guys. But
Hope you're watching.
because you're
Of
totally
course they
watching.
watch. Everybody watches the Don't Start
Yeah.
a Band podcast.
Yeah.
Especially if Almost Maine is on it.
Mhm.
This is my little clout chasing.
Gotcha.
Just kidding.
No, but anyway, like
taking our whole fan base, all 13 people.
See, the thing, there's your other dynamic, is they would have to like me as well.
That's
yeah,
true.
there you go.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Get used to it. Anyway, what I was saying was I was at State Champs.
Anyway.
Bass. That's what we were talking about.
Anyway,
State champs.
at State Champs, right?
Yes.
And the last chorus, they had some technical difficulties and the bass cut out. And you could just, the energy just.
Yeah.
It was still
Big
cool, like
difference.
it was still fun, but like it wasn't as good as it could be, like
Mhm.
easily. What the bassist ended up doing, he dropped his bass and jumped into the crowd, which I think is the best thing you could have done in that situation.
He jumped into the cloud.
Jumped into the cloud,
Yeah.
the English language.
See, the thing about it, when people, don't shit on your local bass player.
Yeah.
But when people do shit on them, the people who get offended are like real bass players and they love doing it. But the
Mhm.
people who don't get offended are the ones who play guitar and nobody else can play bass.
So
So
they-
that person got thrown into it.
I've met many a bassist
Yeah.
that was the case
Yeah.
for it. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just like
Right.
that's not their number
Yeah.
one thing.
Well, our bassist in the Backseaters, he is a guitar player. He's a much better guitar player than me. And I didn't know any other bass players, so he filled the role and he's filled it to the fullest. Like he writes it's different when a bass is not just following the guitar, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's almost like in some aspects in some of our songs, like he's another like low lead part.
That's almost like
That's how
we were talking about that today
That's how we
too.
treat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Call of the Dead, there's
Which is a sick music video, by
yeah,
the way.
it's a good Halloween time music video.
That was really fun.
We'll have to, if we had time, we would have to talk about that because that was almost just a train wreck.
Everything
I mean,
we've
it was
ever
on
done,
the
it was
verge
almost
of
a train wreck.
Damn.
But we switched it at the last second. and
Long
somehow
story
that worked.
short, music video got deleted 3 days before we were releasing it. By,
Parts of it.
Parts of it,
Yeah.
like half of it got deleted, and so in the same day we found out it was deleted, we had to get enough extras to come back in, plus get the same jacket that we gave back
Go
to
to the
Goodwill,
same
go
location.
to the same
That is
location
insane.
and refilm, and it was nuts. But
Do you
you
get the
can't even
makeup
tell.
back on? Yeah.
Yeah, and the makeup. And,
And
stuff, it
it's
was
funny
wild.
because in the original shoot, I'm not one of the zombies ever in any of the backgrounds. I also didn't have this tattoo when we shot it the first time.
No way.
But when we had to go do reshoots, I just went to go be a zombie in the background, so we had
Yeah.
more people, and that's why I'm a random zombie in the back sometimes. And I do have a tattoo,
He's on
even
his
though
phone.
yeah, and I have a tattoo. I don't know if you can see I have a tattoo, but
You can see that you're on your phone.
yeah, I am on my phone.
If you watch carefully enough, one of them's just sitting in the back like this with his phone out.
I did it as a joke originally, and then Justin told me to do it again, so I
Yeah.
did.
But anyways, all of that is to say the second verse of that song, the bass is its own lead line.
It's
It's
its
like
own
this
thing.
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it makes it interesting. But it's
Yeah.
that same thing where it's not following any sort of rhythm. It's its own thing, and that's also to thank Michael
Yeah.
for that stuff.
I
He's
mean,
really
yeah,
good
some
at that.
parts where it's more forefront too and more prominent, and then
Yeah.
sometimes where it's still background, but either way, it's generally doing its own thing,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
cool.
It's a good fucking song. And I just want to
It's one of my favorites.
send a shout out to Andrew from 1,000 Miles of Fire
My
for
boy.
getting in every Denver pop punk band's music.
He really has. I didn't
He
think
was
about
in
that.
yours, and then I was watching the
He
Rain in
Rain in
July
July,
one, and
yeah.
I'm like,
Did we start that
Damn.
trend or did
I-
somebody else?
I'm gonna
I
take
hope
credit
it's
for
us.
that. I'm gonna
it's
take
us.
credit for that.
It was us.
what, with him joining the
Yeah.
music video?
Andrew,
Yeah.
if you're listening or if you're seeing this, we made you.
You are what you are today because of specifically the two of us.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say he's more like a Waldo, because like now
Oh my God,
everybody's
can
gonna
we
be
make that?
looking at every pop punk band music video going, where is he, where is he?
Please, we need
He's
this.
somewhere.
Am I the only one when doing Where's Waldo, like thinks that one of those times, like the illustrator just isn't gonna put him in?
Yeah, honestly, sometimes it feels like that.
Every
that
single
would,
time.
that would be a really good prank. Like if you were the illustrator,
rude.
just to not do that and see how many people. Like and then release like a reissue of the book so only some of them don't have it.
That'd be so mean.
One
so
guy's going, it wasn't there
It's not
before.
there.
Where is Waldo?
I circled every person in this picture. He is not there.
It's like that Dane Cook joke where he's like, if I can't find Waldo this month, we're getting a divorce.
Was that from Vicious Circle or a different one?
Oh, I don't remember what that's from. But it's where he leaves
Yeah.
the lava lamp in the house and he's like, we don't figure out what he took this year or the
Oh
B&E
yeah,
one,
the B and E. Yeah.
We don't figure out what he took this year.
Not
I
bacon
want a
and
divorce.
Oh my god.
I would love to.
You know what's funny about that is I was talking with the Lycan a couple days ago, and we were talking about a Tom Segura comedy special. So it's kind of funny that we brought up stand-up comedy,
Stand-up's always
2 podcasts in a row.
Got to.
I don't listen to it
Stand-up.
enough. I need to.
We like to think of ourselves as stand-up comics who also do music.
Yeah, off to the side. That's
It's
what-
it's actually more of a t-shirt company that also does comedy with music on the side.
Yeah, that's like the
That's-
last
that's-
thing we do.
Yeah,
That's almost me.
I've brought it up 1,000 times, but that's what Taylor Hahn always says, that
Yeah.
bands are a t-shirt company that also make music. I think I've said that maybe in every episode.
Yeah.
That's how
I mean,
anybody who's
that's
ever
the
asked
I
essence
us
just
about
feel like
bands-
it's such like,
It's
it's
so
an
true.
eye-opener, you know?
Yeah, well, I've had people ask me before, they've been like, well, what do you think of Spotify? Like, do you guys make any money off of that? And I'm like, no, not at all. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, doesn't that make you guys upset? And I was like,
No,
really,
not at
'cause
all.
even if we were selling music, like,
Yeah.
so little of it comes from that. It's more like your
Yeah.
advertisement, and then you get people to come to your shows, and that's where you sell your merch. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like this vicious cycle of
You're really.
advertising.
Well, and if they don't buy merch, like a big thing that I had a problem with, and we even talked about it, and like a lot of people look past it, is giving away free shit.
Yeah.
So the people get home and they have something in their pocket either that night or the next morning after a crazy night.
That's
And
'cause
they're
it's
like,
non-committal.
oh yeah,
Right.
I saw this awesome band. And then I went to a bar and met a cute girl.
There you
Turned out to have chest hair.
go. Oof.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Back to the stand-up
Every time.
comedy thing. Oh fuck. Oh, I used to like make jokes and stuff on stage, but my heart got too broken when I would make jokes and no one would laugh. Then I get like snarky and like, ready to start being an asshole. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna talk.
See, what was really funny is on the Marquee Theater. I think it was the Marquee Theater's website for a while, because like the way they would have bills, like they would say like the headliner and then all the supporting acts,
Yeah.
and they would say.
this is an actual thing, by the way. This
Yeah.
is not like a joke.
I'm not.
This is for
actually.
real.
I have a screenshot of it, but like they would have a page for whatever show event or whatever event it was. It was that headliner and then all the supporting acts, and they would say what genre they were under each band.
Yeah.
And then you had like this rock, pop, like metal, all this stuff, and then under us for a good amount of time,
Like at least 6 months. Or
it said
year.
Almost Maine, comedy band.
That's for real.
And I was just like, were we that funny on stage, or are they not taking us seriously? Are we that bad?
Yeah.
This
I
was
saw
like
one
back in
in the middle.
2013 or something like that.
It was a good time.
That was so
That's my
funny.
favorite.
But what's weirdly enough is Summit Music Hall's website had us as rock pop, so
Who knows?
I mean,
don't
they
know.
probably, cause like you guys used to have like a YouTube vlog and like stuff like that, right? Like there was a lot of funny
Those
shit.
are-
So maybe they thought you
There
were
was
buried.
a lot of something on there.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
We
if
were
it was
young.
funny.
We were like 16.
Yeah. It
That
was.
should be a genre, comedy rock.
Comedy rock.
Com
I mean,
rock.
it kind of is, but.
Yeah.
You just have one-liners as your lyrics.
Oh, it's like stand up, but there's some
Yeah.
idle music. Have it like elevator music, and you're just telling jokes.
No. It's not elevator music. It's
No.
rock.
Oh.
It's pop punk songs.
You're right,
but
you're
there's
right.
just jokes.
Of course. So,
So,
you're,
so we'll be sunrise.
so you're
Circus.
telling jokes in a 4-chord structure, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
I love it.
Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side?
To get out of this town.
Yeah, pop punk.
There it
You know,
is.
I was gonna open this by saying, like the music was gonna stop, and I was just gonna say, and then I told the aliens, pizza is definitely a vegetable. How do you guys feel about pizza?
Like as a whole, or
Like as a pop punk
No, as a
entity?
piece.
as a pop
that a
punk
real thing?
entity.
I mean,
think-
everybody likes pizza. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think the pop punks just they market it more.
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
part of the
That's
marketing.
kind of how did that come to be? Because Blink-182 was all about Taco Bell and burritos and
Yeah.
all that shit.
cheap food.
Where did
I'm
it
gonna
come from?
straight up throw it to Jared Alonji.
Yeah.
That one video. I don't know
Oh,
if you've
where
seen it
he's
yet.
holding
The
the
every
big-
pop-
Well,
Yeah,
and he like pulls it out of his vest and he's like,
Okay.
I love pizza.
I think that's when it like blew up and everybody
Right.
knew about it. I might have been a thing started by somebody else a little bit before, but
I don't know, but like pizza for me, I like pop punk people. They're like it's a way of life, and I don't know if I would call it a way of life.
it's a fun
but
thing to
it's-
do on a Friday night.
It's
you know?
it's one of those things
Yeah.
like for us, like we're playing at the Marquee. You can bet there's gonna be
Ooh.
pizza there
Oh,
because
Marquee.
it's almost like a sin.
That's
to
not
get Marquee
pizza. That is like
That's an experience.
They even have
Yeah.
vegan pizza.
Do they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
progressive.
very progressive.
Progressive.
I just had to
We're
ask.
missing flow.
Personally, I mean, you guys are like kind of pop punk, but it's definitely your guys' sound has developed from like when I first heard you guys. I think it's Seventh Circle. To
The one time we played there.
November 3rd, 2013. I remember that.
oh damn.
I know dates for some
Yeah, I don't
reason.
know. But
I mean, it's definitely
Brain
like
over here.
more pop punkish, but now it's like it's more like rock fueled with some
Yeah,
pop.
Pop stuff.
yeah,
We're like
we
Transformers.
yeah, we are.
Yeah, our old stuff was like the truck form, and now we're like a robot.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Yeah.
it's something that we've consciously made a decision on. Like right when we were doing stories, we took half of our old content
Yeah.
and re-recorded it, and then wrote entirely new content for the other half.
Oh, okay.
And so if you listen through, you can hear the shift. Like all of the songs, like Suspect is one where it shifted, Call the Dead,
Yeah.
Close Only Counts and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades,
Yeah.
which we just call horses, by the way. It's the shorthand.
We call it a lot
but
of
we
things.
spell it
Yeah.
HOERSES when we're doing the shorthand.
Yeah, I think it's because Mike made a typo one time.
It totally is.
Yeah, and we just kept calling it that.
So we actually called it horses for a long
Horses.
time. That got hard to say.
We
It
have
sounds
a-
like we have an accent.
we also have
Like
a-
when you say horse, you gag in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
We also have glue shoes and boom booms.
That's We
That's a
we
good
came
name.
up with this whole list, and we figured whenever we decide to put this on a set list, we're not gonna write out Close Only Counts and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. So we were like, let's
Yeah.
come up with
Whatever.
shorthand versions of it. And so we put on like glue shoes and boom booms was one. Close Only Counts and horse grenades.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of stupid.
We just
For
vandalize
like a-
all of our songs
Well, and
as much as we
and the
can.
funniest part is that's something that like maybe a grand total of 8 people will ever see.
Yeah,
unless,
right.
unless they post a picture, it's like
As many.
the
as many
3 of
set
us
lists as we
know,
can.
and then
Yeah.
whoever gets a set list.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys watched Parks and Rec?
Oh yeah,
Briefly.
and that's
So
I just
in
started it recently.
the thank yous of the Phantom EP, like for the band, we thank all the people, family, friends, blah 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 blah, and then right in the middle we put thanks to Duke Silver, and then it just goes on to the next one, and
I
it's
love
like
it.
our little inside
That's-
joke.
We
So
have a
we-
little
we've
thing.
got-
We've
we've
done it
got
on
one.
both our EP.
That's what
and
people
our
miss
album.
by not getting a
Yeah.
physical copy.
So if you actually take stories, and actually I'll start with Beginner's Luck,
Good.
because this one it was
The
our
EP,
first
if
time.
nobody knows about this existence, because we kind of wiped it off the face of the planet, but
It
we
was
had
our
an EP in
first ever
2013.
thing. It's really bad. It's not really bad, but it's not good.
Side note, the lyric videos where you talk about the lyrics and like the songs and stuff,
Oh my
that
God,
was really cool.
So
Like
long ago.
Yeah, so we almost did that for
I'm
this
just
one,
realizing
but-
like how much I know about you.
Yeah.
You're
I
reminding,
didn't
realize
you're
that
reminding
anybody followed
us
us
of things that were happening
Yeah.
in our past. that I just
we
don't think
we
about.
were gonna do that for this
Known you guys
cycle
for a long
for this
time,
album, but I decided against doing it because I started to realize that people will interpret songs the way that they will. And I feel like if I step in and say this is what it's about, like all of a sudden that takes it away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Then they go, this is what happened to David. It has nothing to do with me.
Oh, I thought. Well, like I've had people who have walked up and been like, "I just realized this about this song and this about this.
Yeah.
Is that how it's supposed to be written?" And I was like,
Sure.
"Yes, now it is."
Yeah.
And but like I'm an English major, and so like, however you can interpret things is,
Yeah.
I believe that's up to whoever. And as long as you back it up with what's going on, like
Mhm.
by all means, if you're gonna say that, Call the Dead is about an actual relationship that's going wrong, great. Or if you want to say that it's about the Nazi zombies mode in Call of Duty, which it actually is, there's that too.
No, you're not supposed to say
So-
that though. You're not supposed to
It's
say what it
okay.
actually
And there it is,
And there
folks.
it is.
That song means
Look it up.
nothing.
It means nothing.
Just kidding.
But yeah. Anyways, to get back to the EP and stuff, on the back of our EP, it said, "All unauthorized duplicators will be shipped off to Guatemala against their will."
Oh damn.
And
then
then
stories-
the stories was better.
That's what was funny. It
It,
was
said all unauthorized duplicators will be beaten senseless by every able-bodied patron of the band. The SpongeBob.
all bubble-blowing babies will be beaten senseless by every able-bodied patron in the bar.
Straight out of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Holy
Yeah, so if you
So
have a copy, or if you want to get one, look at the back of it.
Well, they have
It
to
says that.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we do stupid stuff like that, even with lyrics. Like
Yeah.
there's little things in lyrics that I feel like people don't really notice.
Yeah.
And they know everything.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
Adam and Michael know everything because they'll be like, guys, check out
Yeah.
this cheeky
Yeah.
little thing
He'll
that I
always
did.
tell us, yeah.
And but most of them kind of go over people's heads. So
Yeah.
if you're bored one day,
Dissect
go
our songs for
look
fun.
go look through the lyrics. Go look for patterns in words
Yeah.
in the ways that the sentences start. It's well worth your.
Our album is a treasure map.
It is, and it leads to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I do. Brian Fallon, my personal hero, talked about that, and I try and do the same thing. And then also to the inside little nose or whatever. Our single Ground Up starts with "There is a ghost that I believe lives in the basement with me,"
Mhm.
and this basement's actually there's a ghost. That
I
lives in
suddenly
this
don't want to
basement.
be here anymore.
Tell us something we don't know.
He's the ghost. That's the twist.
Oh, that's
That's the twist.
oh.
Face.
Wink, wink.
I love it.
So, I was gonna ask you. So, do you have a new EP out? Did I miss that?
No.
Not yet. So
Not
your
yet.
latest like physical copy main release was Stories.
Stories.
Correct.
Yes.
And then since then we've released
We released a single,
which
cover.
was it was it was a cover of Post Malone's "I Fall Apart,"
Yeah.
and we did a
How'd you
music
come up
video
with
for
that?
So actually, Michael came to us with that.
Yeah,
He's
that was a
like,
good idea.
it was right before Post Malone. Like, well, I mean, he kind of.
We were planning on doing a cover regardless, and we were just
Mhm.
trying to figure out which one we wanted to do, and then Michael brought that one up to us.
and because it was right before he really like exploded.
Yeah.
And he was like, check out this song, and we were like, yeah, we can totally do that. So we did that, and then do you think we could safely say what we're doing right now? With the
not safely,
not the big thing, but the other thing.
Let's
Think
be
so?
vague
Like,
about it.
don't
Be vague.
show everybody the pipe per se.
Oh, I
Just
see.
the the knapsack underneath.
Just the tip.
Exactly.
Just the tip.
I don't know the tip. If you pull your tip out, that's still weird. But like if you just have a nut hanging out of your waistband, like that's okay. Okay.
Less graphic.
All right, let's show the
That
nut.
might not get blurred.
We've
on TV.
decided. Let's show the nut.
All right.
All right, how
We-
specific
On
do we
this
want to be?
episode of Don't Start a Band, we are showing the nut.
The show hashtag.
That's gonna be a
The
thing.
The nut.
That's gonna be
The nut.
a thing. Every time somebody shares something
It's gonna
like
be called
new,
the nut.
yes.
Yes.
And here we are with Almost Maine. This is Share the Nut.
You wait before you do that. You need to get like a sound bite specifically for when. The nut.
Also, it is a capital THE, capital NUTT
Yeah.
trademark.
Oh,
Nut.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
it. The
Don't
nut.
forget that.
Don't
Nut.
steal that.
Don't steal the nut.
No, don't. That's gonna be our catchphrase. Don't
Yeah.
steal the nut.
Don't steal the nut.
That'll be like our little inside
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
connection.
go. It's our inside joke that only stays here and is no one's ever gonna know about it.
Are you saying
Nobody.
people don't listen to my motherfucking podcast?
No, it's actually a joke on the opposite of that. How dare you?
But so
Anyway,
just to be just to give the nut. We
I knew
we've
this
talked.
was
Stop
gonna
talking
be
about nuts.
we do have a new release that we will hopefully be coming out with in 1 week from today, and then perhaps a couple more.
a full
throughout the-
release or
no,
just a single?
no, just a
One
little
song.
something.
Just one nut.
little something's coming out for the rest of the year.
A
but
nut
specifically,
Yeah, the puke.
Got it.
yeah, we're just looking for one nut hair, half
Yeah.
trimmed, in a while.
Here's a pube for all of you.
Right there,
Just have-
catch. It's like when you blow a kiss, except
Yeah, that's the puke.
You're
How
not
do we get
watching
here?
on YouTube, you should be. So I kind of wanted to ask you when you brought up stories. In this day and age, stuff gets released like so quickly, so frequently, and sometimes not a lot of people have the attention span to listen to a full album. So when you release that, because we've done the same thing, like what was your, what did you get out of doing a full-length release as opposed to an E EP?
I think for us,
Did you
it
learn
was
it?
yeah, we learned a lot. First of all, we learned that 3 weeks is not enough time in the studio to record a full length album. And we learned that way the hard way.
Yeah.
It almost crushed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that sounds crazy, but like for anybody who's not in a band, we were in the studio for 10 hours a day for 3 weeks straight. We only had Saturdays and Sundays off.
Every week.
And that wasn't enough to finish recording 13 3-minute songs. So it's an intensive process, but
That's 210 hours.
yeah, and it
Good math,
to
good
record
math.
just a little.
I don't know if that's
How
true.
would
I'm just
you
gonna trust you.
You could have said any
7
number and
times
I would've
3
been
is
true.
21.
7
times
hours.
10
That's a very
hours
long
a day.
time.
You got it.
Too nice.
But
Sorry.
it was intensive, and so for us, I think it was the biggest thing is that we put out the goal to do a full length just to see if we could do it. Like more than anything, just to see if
Prove
we could
something to
actually
Yes.
sit down and see if we had what it takes to set aside an amount of time and write X amount of songs and then just execute it. And we pulled that off. And I think if I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would be like, hey, so here's the better idea.
Hey, don't start a band.
Pick your best one.
It's not even that I would say, because I think most of our album is
Yeah.
pretty solid. There's a few songs that
No filler songs.
We're a little biased.
I don't.
but
Yeah, I mean, I think
we have more of an attachment. They're like our
Yeah.
children. so,
We're
like,
too early in this stage of our like music playing years to be putting on fillers.
fillers.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things
We
that
don't
feel
have
like
the
we
money
did.
to be
Oh,
putting on
definitely.
fillers,
Exactly.
so-
If we're gonna be putting money into
Yeah.
something, we're gonna make sure it's
Definitely.
absolutely
Yeah.
what we want it to be.
And that's another thing is I think anytime I've talked to people and they've been like, oh, how much did it cost to make your album? I just kind of like chuckled to myself. I'm like, do you really want to know? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, well, between production, recording, tracking, mixing, mastering, pressing, distribution, artwork, videos, all of that, it sums up right below $14,000. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm
like,
like,
believe it or not, that's kind of cheap.
yeah, for how much we actually put into it, that's not
Yeah.
the worst. And half of that was recording and production,
Mixing.
and the other half was just mixing. Like
Mhm.
it's crazy expensive stuff. And
Yeah.
so all of that being said, if I was to go back in time, I'd be like, pick a few songs, do one EP that you re-release,
Mhm.
and then do another EP that you release later, and split your stuff up. Split up when you release things,
Yeah.
because like you said, people don't have a long attention span. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and that's
basically
nothing
have 3
against, like-
seconds to get people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you already have people engaged, like a huge, like if you're already huge and like all
Yeah.
that stuff, and you have people engaged, you're gonna have a very, very large group of people that are gonna listen to your entire album anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like we're in the stage of you're trying to get more, you're trying to expand more, and you're trying to get people to know about you,
Yeah.
it's usually safe to go with smaller things because
Mhm.
listening to a whole album or something, that's super commit. That's a big commitment. That is like 45 minutes to an hour. People,
That's a
we
road
as
trip
humans,
task.
our normal, our basically nature is just don't commit.
Right.
as much as people want to say it, like every human has like a at least a little bit of commitment issues with anything.
For
Or
sure.
even with bigger artists, you know, like
Mhm.
just to take Post Malone since we were talking about him, you know, he has this full album that he just released
Yeah.
back in May,
Mhm.
and you know, if you ask just some random person, they've probably heard a song off of that.
I've heard
Yeah.
a song.
Or 2 at most, but you know that's because they've heard it playing on the radio or somewhere. That's
Yeah,
not even because
exactly.
they've
The singles,
actively
yeah.
taken the time. And so even when you're a bigger artist, catching new
Yeah.
people, it's tough.
Yeah.
You only have it. Like I said, it's only like 3 seconds. Like you sit down, you're scrolling through Facebook, you see a new video, you click on it, and you're like, "This
Okay.
is boring."
Yeah.
And it's literally that long.
So yeah,
Super disheartening.
yeah, it doesn't
Like
feel
cool,
good.
I definitely didn't spend 3 months of my life
Exactly.
perfecting this.
I didn't pour my everything into this for 3 seconds of, okay.
It's like working a job and then paying to work that job.
Exactly, right? I mean, I practically do that on Mondays,
Very-
but you know, that's
Yeah.
a different thing.
Fuck, I was gonna ask about the album, songs, shit. I totally spaced out.
We agree, it's not that great.
No.
Shit, like, there's not much to it, right?
Not a whole lot. We didn't go in depth.
Oh, I was gonna make a little haha, a little funny. Do you think that's why, is it pronounced gent?
Oh.
DJ. Do you think that's why that exists? Because like, you open it up and in the first 3 seconds you have 10 different time signatures.
We get everything covered. It's all,
Don't.
that's almost a little overwhelming. That's too much.
Yeah,
like,
but the people
in
who
there.
are like super need it fast and crazy.
Why is
Like-
this song 3 minutes?
Or need something new every 3
Yeah.
seconds, so you
Oh,
change the time
oh,
signature.
oh,
You're like,
oh,
this is
oh.
all very new to me.
I mean, we did do that.
We did one song, our horses, the one we were talking about earlier. That
Who
has
is this?
who are
Horses.
horses. We how many
That's some
time
ASMR
signatures are in that
shit.
song? That song goes from 7/4 to 6/8. There are 2 or 3 measures of 5/4 in that song. I'm pretty sure. Then it ends in 4/4. So
wouldn't know that drummer boy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
But we it was just one of those where we were writing it and we were like, this feels right, and it doesn't. None of it feels forced.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
the
We
important
tried to make sure we weren't writing a song in a different time signature for the
Yeah.
sake of writing a song in a different
You weren't
time signature.
pandering.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, even though we were trying to pander to that crowd who's like, I can't listen to time signatures for more than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
we accidentally also made the song really slow, so
Yeah.
kind of shot ourselves in the foot there.
What's the point? Kind of defeats the purpose, you know.
Yeah.
No, but that's
Hey,
one of
double negative makes a positive.
You're
That's true.
right. You know what? We should do
Let's
that
make
more.
it right.
Yeah. What? Anyway.
We turn left. Wait, yeah. Wait, am I going right? Is that right? That is right. I meant to go left.
For those of you
Left
who are
or
listening,
left?
Yeah, but this is a
Left.
visual joke.
David is making boxes
Boxes
with
with
his
the
hands.
Yeah.
Definitely
Pretty
watch
much
on
right.
YouTube, subscribe on YouTube if you want to see how intricate that got. He was able to put both legs behind his head and intertwine all of his
Mhm.
fingers to
14
turn,
backflips.
All 12 fingers.
to turn his body into a square.
It's true. I was
It
there.
was amazing.
I am here
It's
in the present.
in the right moment.
But you don't want to be, so
Music,
you
that's
don't
true.
count.
You did say
You
that.
don't
Never
count.
let it go.
But you're a ghost, so really I'm the only one that wants to be here.
Fuck,
That is-
this is crazy.
Where am I? How do we get
Alright.
here?
Fourth walls!
And we're back. Denver pop punk. Okay, so start with Denver music scene in general. What are your, like, when you look at it, what do you see? And then Denver pop punk. Has it gone up, gone down?
I think,
That's a loaded question.
yeah, I think, so we're kind of in a weird spot because I feel like we're one of the few bands, we might even be the only band that I can think of, that when we first started
Mm-hmm.
is still around, like to this day. It's
Yeah,
the
like
same,
in our span.
yeah, with
So
the
many
same
bands
name.
have just dropped off.
Yeah, and
Well, yeah, there's
there's a bunch of them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking before the podcast about From Thin Air. You know,
Yeah,
they were
From
they were
Thin
like
Air.
our big brother band, and now they're gone, and they all
Yeah.
have adult lives and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so that's an interesting thing. And so for us, we've seen kind of the transition
yeah.
from what it used to be to what it is now.
Yeah, we've been through a few stages of the Denver music scene. Honestly, as a whole, like not even just like the pop punk like scene,
Right.
just like the whole thing. Like there's so many bands that even though we're not in their exact like circle, like their
Yeah.
circle of that genre or whatever, we still like know what's going on generally, what's happening around, and it's
You
gone
got the
through
skinny?
Yeah.
What's the skinny guy?
I got the skinny.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
so we've kind of seen the transition, and so like
What has been the transition?
so it's
Like, how is it different?
I don't know.
I feel like it used to be a lot more. Our scene used to be kind of feeding into the Denver pop punk that we were getting into afterwards, but it really
Yeah.
is just like there used to be a lot more pop punk. I really do
Mhm.
think it's kind of gone down and kind of gone, kind of exploring into more of the alt pop stuff like
Yeah.
with what 93.3 like is mainly playing. What they used to
Right.
play is like a lot of pop punk. And now they're playing, 21 Pilots, like
Yeah.
like Panic at the Disco and like
Of
1975.
monsters and men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
all
they're
that
playing
good
this
stuff.
this new genre that's kind of come in and is super popular, and now a lot of people are either just starting out as that genre or like kind of transforming from whatever they
Yeah.
were doing before into this new alt pop style. I know a lot of bands that we know that have been or planning to or did whatever transition into that alt pop style. So, and I mean, it's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't know if it's all pop though. I would just say it's
It's like-
just rock. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
like a pop rock,
kind of like an
or something
indie
like
type,
that.
indie rock type
Yeah.
deal. It's I don't know exactly what to call it. I've heard it referred to as alt pop before,
Yeah.
so that's just what I've been calling it. But
Prog rock.
nope,
It's not the same thing.
this is not 1980.
The other thing that I would say that I've seen, I don't know if it's a pop punk scene thing or if it's
Yeah.
like the Denver music scene as a whole, but I remember like when we first jumped into things,
Yeah.
it felt like everybody played their cards really close to the chest, and like in order to
Yeah.
get in with certain groups, it was like super exclusive,
Yeah.
and so
It seemed like a
we
really
used to
really
play
decided
shows
to
like
do things.
when we first started, we were playing in places like Rocky Mountain Soundgarden, which doesn't
If
even
anybody
Yeah.
remembers what that is.
Yeah.
I played there once.
It's
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw 1,000 Miles of Fire, but
Yeah,
really?
back in
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah, so I think our first show was around that time too, and it was
May 18th,
Yeah.
2012.
yeah, it was
13.
it was
13.
so we started with that, and then after that we finally got onto some shows like at a little bit bigger venues, but it was always like it was funny because like that was back when we were more the bubblegum pop punk type
Clearly,
stuff.
Yeah.
clearly
It's like-
high schoolers.
Yeah, like, and so imagine like 2008, 2009 all-time low playing with like Korn. Because that's basically what
That's
it
the
ended
bills
up
we
being.
got put on.
We got
because
put on,
we
all these
have a name for
metal
ourselves.
shows, and we were just like, this is what it takes. This is the grind, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
turns out that's not it. But now I feel like, you know, we've got bands like Rain in July, who we're really close with. We've
Those
got
guys.
1,000 Miles of Fire. Oh no, why am I forgetting their name? Contender.
Yeah.
All these bands, like it feels like it's a lot more tight knit, and that people can just say, "Yo, do you guys want to hook up a show?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And
Yeah.
that didn't used to be the case.
Yeah,
This didn't
back
feel
in the
like-
day, there was kind of like a upper echelon of bands that kind of talked to each other,
Yeah.
and they always kind of played shows with each other, and not really as much with like some of the other bands who are like just started or have just been around for a little bit.
I think I know some of the bands you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Green Day. Not looking out for the little guys.
Journey.
Yeah, they, neither of those people have come on this podcast, so.
Yeah,
What does that say?
they're too Hollywood for
Fame
us.
got
Yeah.
to their heads.
Billy Joe Armstrong's actually in a movie. Did you ever see the preview for that?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't see the movie.
I haven't seen the movie yet either. I really do want to see it. It looks funny. as
I know
shit.
he's dabbled in like acting, like Broadway at least before.
Yeah.
I've seen some things where he was talking about acting and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and he's super interested in that stuff, and he has a lot of respect for.
Was he in the American Idiot play?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he acted in
did
it?
Saint Jimmy. He
Oh,
went
yeah.
from not acting to Broadway. Like there was no.
He's so talented. He
transition.
just decided he wanted to do that, and he did it.
Yeah, he played the part of Saint Jimmy
Okay.
on some of their shows, and
Yeah.
he toured with them I think once,
Mhm.
and then occasionally he'll pop in, and occasionally actually Green Day will just be the band playing the music,
Yeah.
Oh,
which is
really?
kind of cool.
That is cool.
They at one of their shows that I watched a video of it, and the play ended, and then they got up and they were like talking about some new stuff that they were doing, and we were like, "Do you guys want to just hear us play some songs?" And everybody, it's at like some really nice theater, like think like
Yeah.
the Buell Theater,
Yeah.
and Green Day's just playing
That's
there
wild.
while everybody's like dressed up. I was
Fuck
like,
it.
man, that's the coolest. That's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely one of, if not my favorite band of all time,
Solid band.
I would say.
Really great live.
Yeah.
Oh
I
god,
haven't
I've seen him.
them.
I've seen him twice.
Yeah.
They're incredible live.
I have the Bullet in a Bible DVD,
Nice.
but
Yeah.
I've never actually seen them.
I saw them
They
at
sound like
was it First Bank Center.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
both did.
Yeah. And then Fiddlers on Fiddlers Green. They were
Why
basically
do people
played
talk
them.
shit about Green Day?
because they're popular.
That is why.
Well, and it's funny because like I feel like people don't think that they're talented because they play
Yeah.
like really simple chords for some of like their popular songs are really
Yeah.
Paul moves so fast.
Yeah. easy. Saint Jimmy man,
Yeah,
but no,
play
like
3 times as fast live.
if you listen to stuff like Misery,
Oh, that song's so
that
weird.
song's so weird. It's got all
love
these
it.
instruments, and Billy Joe Armstrong can play like 10 different instruments.
He's
Oh, wow.
he's something else.
Look up his Wikipedia because it's wild. He plays like it's like guitar, vocals, and then it goes into weird stuff.
violin,
like
saxophone,
mandolin.
like
Yeah, and you're like, what?
Well, a lot of people didn't like American Idiot, which I think is crazy. 'Cause, like,
that's my favorite album. Period.
the first non Blink-182 album that I could listen to all the way through when I was a lot younger was American Idiot.
Yeah, that was the first album I.
Because it's
bought
like a
myself.
story. That's
Yeah,
rad.
That
super
album,
interesting.
despite the story behind it, like how they had to wipe whatever they were recording and then they made American Idiot because they all got stolen beforehand, like what they did
Oh.
record. They went in and did all this stuff. I don't know the exact story, but they recorded all this stuff and wrote all this music, and then someone stole it, and
Yeah, I
they
don't
just couldn't
remember.
retrieve it again. So they wrote. This is just what I heard.
Yeah.
But they just wrote American Idiot as a result of that, and despite it being kind of like what they did afterwards, it's super thought out. I think
Yeah.
that everything about that album is so beautiful. I love it.
What's Her Name is probably in my
That
top
That's a
20
song.
favorite
that's
songs.
that's one of my favorite songs.
And the
off that
drums
album,
are just like
easily.
so easy, but they're so like on point and tight.
That's the thing I've always
Yeah,
thought about Trey
yeah.
Cool. As the drummer, like he
Oh,
was
yeah.
never known as being this huge elaborate Travis Barker or something like that, but he's
Yeah.
so tight. He is so solid in what he does, and he
For
plays
sure.
it so well. He does that. Nobody can do it like him. It's
It's
crazy.
That's like
Always-
all of Green Day. Like,
You can tell
Seeing
when
them
each of that
live,
members is
it's-
playing just by hearing it.
Well, and they don't play to a metronome live.
No.
Not to my knowledge. It,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like they do. And
That's what I've heard.
But
too.
it is the tightest show I've
Yeah.
ever seen. I mean, even people who play to metronomes are not that
They're
in sync. It was
crazy.
wild.
They're clearly refined, being from 1980 whatever.
Yeah.
But-
But then just speaking of that, we even play to a metronome live, obviously,
Yeah,
for the backing
so do we.
tracks.
Yeah.
And while we like to think that we're pretty tight and on point with one another,
I think they're
it's a whole
tighter
other
without a metronome than we are with a metronome. Like they're.
and that's saying something because we're still pretty.
I'm gonna give it to us. I
Yeah.
think we're pretty solid with that. But no, they're
It's like a whole different animal. I don't know how they do it.
yeah, they're one of easily they are the best band I've ever seen live. They're
Yeah.
so good.
Incredible.
So, this is like a little inside thing here. Did I? Yeah,
The
that's
nuts whisper. The nut part too.
the
This is
nut
the other-
Jake's nut this time.
Jake's nut.
So, did we ever talk about the business card thing? That I gave, I think it was your parents' business card. So, it was back when we played together at 7th Circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And,
remember
like,
that show.
I was just basically looking to teach drums, and I was like, I wonder if he wants to take drum lessons. So I gave like my little business card to your parents, and I was like, hey, if he wants to take
Alright.
drum lessons,
That's fun.
I'm teaching. But the funny thing about it is like every time, because clearly you're an amazing drummer. I wasn't thinking for some reason. But every time I see you, every time I've seen you after that, I go, man, that's a cocky thing to say. Like, it's basically like me saying, hey, your kid's a dog shit on the drums. I can make him better. And I just wanted to clear my name in case like you knew about that and secretly
This
hated
is
me
the
for
first time
years.
hearing of that. That's
That's
Well-
actually why we're here. We're here to make fun of you.
yeah. Actually, I was just looking for a chance so I could expose you.
It's crazy. The things your mind can make you believe.
Well, I think one of the
That's awesome. I
funniest
didn't know
things,
that.
just
Thank
speaking
you.
of that,
Yeah.
I think the first time that I had ever met you was back, I don't even know what year it was, but it was at a benefit concert at a church.
I think it was 2010 or
It was
11.
it was close to there. And
2010.
it was,
That was a rough
it
year.
was, I think it was the fairgrounds that were playing.
Mhm. They
Or-
got
and
us
then-
on the show.
Yeah, and you guys were writing right at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I remember we were just starting to try to form a band at the time, and I remember being like, man, that guy's so cool. Let's go ask him what he thinks of our band name. And I have no idea what it was, but it wasn't Almost Maine.
Did you ask me?
And yeah, we had
Oh,
asked
okay.
you, and we were like, what do you think of this? How'd you come up with your name? And whoever it was, like your guitarist or something,
Yeah.
like, walked up and said some like joke about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder if he's serious. Like, is that really the name? And he's just trying to be nice. I don't remember what was said, but I remember us walking up and being like, this is what we're thinking of going with.
Yeah.
What do you think of that band name? And like, looking back now, that's the funniest thing ever.
I don't think
Because
I
people do that to
wanna
like
know.
us
Yeah.
occasionally, so.
No one's ever.
People come
Oh,
up
I
to
guess
us like
somebody
we're the
actually
only-
had
Yeah.
asked me that question. But I don't even want to know, like, if you remember what my reply was, because I probably thought I was hot shit. So
I have no. I do
Yeah.
still have the CD though. I sent you a picture of that.
I
not too
know
long
that
ago.
was crazy.
I
I
was
actually
clearing
I
out the
talked
dust.
about it on podcast episode number 3 because I went through my whole like
Famous.
from my first band Epic Stand to the Backseaters. So like basically 2007 2008 to present day. And when I
Wow.
got to writing right, I was like, funny thing about this, David from Almost Maine still
Look
has
at
the
you.
CD.
You got that name
Yeah.
drop.
I couldn't even believe. I was just clearing out a desk and I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? And I was like, No way.
That's
That is-
wild.
Because I mean, it was like you said, it was
Yeah.
like 2010.
That's like me
It
with
was just sitting in a drawer for 8 years.
with that the
Sorry.
band from.
Thanks.
That's me with the band from Wyoming. Not My Weekend. Love those guys to death.
Cool guys.
They're basically Denver pop punk.
That's
like,
what I said.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
They play
they're-
here so much. like,
Technically, are
They-
they in a different location? Yes.
yeah,
But
it's not
They're
that
here
far.
so often.
Yeah, and they associate with so many bands here.
Midwest pop punk.
But
Yeah.
Are we the Midwest?
Maybe.
I think
Central?
I've heard
when,
both.
when it's convenient. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this,
Mountain time pop punk.
there you
There you
go.
go.
I like it. Mountain punk.
Dude,
I want to start a, I
Do
want to start a
yodeling
band
punk.
called Mountain Time Pop Punk.
you guys want to hear the side project? Like, speaking of Green Day, Foxborough Hot Tubs.
Yes.
So they had that side project, but they didn't want everybody
I
to
did
know it
see
was
that.
Green Day. So they because it was also like a completely like different style.
It was so.
it was weird, but.
yeah.
I have a little side project like that called John Mooney and the Sunscreen Sideburns.
That is fantastic.
Because I worked with a guy named John Mooney and he never rubbed in his sunscreen all the way and only where his sideburns are. And I was like, it's John Mooney and the Sunscreen Sideburns.
That is incredible.
That is absolutely
What a
beautiful.
And yes, I do own that name.
We've been thinking one day, obviously,
Not
when
paying.
we blow up and we're a big deal, because that'll happen. We just gotta give it some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just give
We,
it some time.
we've decided we're gonna go undercover sometimes as New Hampshire. That's gonna be our band's name.
Yeah, because it is almost
Because it's almost Maine.
Maine.
Oh,
New Hampshire.
I was
New
like,
Hampshire.
what?
Yeah.
Could we be like a new metal band and it'll be like NU Hampshire? So it's like New Hampshire.
Jesus.
Or be a bunch of stoners too, so it would be New Hampshire.
Oh my god.
One
perfect.
step
And then
closer
we
to Maine.
we have
We're also
we
part
dress
of Lord
up.
of the Rings.
Yeah, we dress up like hobbits. So
There it is.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Yeah, we've thought this all
That's the
out.
new band.
This is something
This
premeditated.
is live on
interesting.
here, so if you forget it and you're like, oh, what was that sick
We'll go
band
back
name we
there.
were gonna have? It's on here.
I'll listen
forever.
back. Give you another thing.
Copyright, trademark.
I'll hit that like button.
Hell yeah, please do.
Hit it.
Like, comment,
smash
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
I really want to be a
Pinterest.
YouTube personality, but like I was saying about the podcast, I just don't think people are gonna give a shit what I do in my
What's
everyday
up,
life.
everybody? It's
Oh
your
my-
boy. Smash
What's
that
up,
like
guys?
button.
What's up? This is. You gotta come up with a cool name
God, I
too.
love shitting on YouTubers.
I love it. It's like
I would never do that. I'd just be like, probably every episode would start with, so
alright, so
here's the deal.
here's Anyway.
Intro sequence. No one's ever used this.
Like
for
a
an
really
intro
low
sequence.
quality version of that.
It's played on a recorder.
like super squeaky.
There's so many good ideas on this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like we're really coming
yeah.
up with the ideas that are
This is a
gonna
good think tank.
It's the new wave.
Oh yeah.
In U wave. That's gonna be our second. That's gonna be our side project to our side
I'm just
project.
letting this happen.
This
I'm
is.
having a great time.
We're not even just doing this for the mic. This is
No, this is-
exactly what we do at home.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. When you were like, "Yeah, glad to be here,"
yeah.
I was like, "Dude."
Well, we
chill.
gotta
We're
ease
just
them in,
gonna have
okay?
fun."
We got. You gotta be generic at first, and then it slowly starts spiraling.
It's like
into
having
something.
a Tinder account as a dude.
Yeah.
You gotta start like you're nice and you're like, hey, how's it going? And then all of a sudden everybody's like, I'm gonna block you.
Yeah.
Except ours is because we're obnoxious, not
Yeah.
because we're
Do you
Immoral.
feel like that's
Yeah.
just men in the world? Period.
maybe.
A lot
no
of them.
There's no hope.
Yeah. What's the
Just hit a
point?
somber note. Just go from
Point.
we just hit the brakes so hard.
You know what?
It's all good.
Stop talking about the
Yeah.
final countdown in YouTube. And
We will not talk about men.
Men are the
Ew.
worst, man,
So
right?
I wanted to talk to you guys, and this will probably, hopefully, draw some attention to the YouTube page. I want to talk to you guys about your hair
Nice.
because David, no offense, Adam, I'm looking at you, but you've always had like really good hair.
Thank you.
Okay,
So too.
sorry. You used to have like more of like the helmet look, but like
Yeah.
it's definitely
It's
people
slowly
listening.
lost
You
its
should
size.
definitely see this
Yeah, listen.
what he's got going on. It's
My
beautiful.
hair used to be brown and now it's like pink purple.
That's true. He just did
I
that.
dyed
See,
my
I'm
hair
colorblind, and when you took off your hat, I was like, I don't think that's blonde.
Alright, so you're saying my hair wasn't significant, don't you feel stupid now? It's purple.
That's what made me remember that I wanted to talk to you about your hair.
There you
There
go.
you go. Full
Don't
circle.
I feel stupid now?
But no, both of you guys have like, you have really good hair. Do you have any styling tips?
I'm
Yes.
dating a hairstylist, so
For
I don't
real?
do
Date a hairstylist. That's Adam's pro tip number 1.
Yeah. That's all you gotta do.
Free haircuts.
He's got 5 pro
for
tips.
life.
That's the first one. What's your second pro tip?
I didn't hear the first one, I wasn't.
That was your first one.
Oh,
But
dating a
anyways,
hairstylist.
you have 5 pro hair tips. So your first one is date a
Can we be
hairstylist.
honest though? Like dating a hairstylist, that's cool.
Mhm.
Like there's totally perks in that
Mhm.
until you turn like 50 or 60 or whenever you start losing your hair.
Well,
And then there's really no point
here's the
to
thing, it's
date a
beautiful for me
hairstylist.
because
It's
my
true.
hair genes, I'm keeping my hair till the day I
Burn
die.
jeans on your hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how
That
you
is
could like keep it safe.
Okay.
Put pants on
That's
your
actually
hair.
what this line is. That's what he was wearing earlier.
Yeah,
Jeans.
these aren't. This wasn't a beanie. This is pants.
Pants.
No, it's not pants. It's jeans.
Beanies are pants for your noggin.
Hey,
This,
hey, that's
this are pants.
another great idea on our list.
Headbands.
Let's start making denim beanies.
Ew. The 90s. Like
Yes.
some weird Twilight
They
Zone
call that
90s.
a bucket hat.
Bucket
It's a
hat.
bucket hat.
Oh,
Bucket hat.
oh, those are kind of like cargo beanies though. Those are so
I don't
much
know
different.
what they are. but-
Cargo beanies. They have pockets
Oh my
everywhere.
guys.
Just hope you
We
guys. are
shouldn't have
writing
said that
these down.
live. We shouldn't have.
Yeah.
We should have
But-
got that patented everything first.
Anyways,
Who cares about the hats because we're talking about your hair?
That's
So
true.
pro tip number 1, date a hairstylist. Pro tip number 2.
you have to get through 5.
Oh.
I don't make the rules.
Be purple. That's the main one.
There's nothing else to that.
Yeah,
Be
date a hairstylist. Be purple.
Interpret that as you will.
Don't
Go-
be
go-
yourself. Be purple.
Be purple.
Pro tip.
Guys,
But it's
I
still-
messed
it's
up
still going.
YouTube.
Did they hear that?
My
It says
phone
you're still-
started ringing. It was not. Oh,
Did it cut
man,
out?
I'm so sorry.
It did. It did, and they missed your other pro tips, and now you can't talk about them again.
Shoot! Now it was.
Bummer.
It was the three.
What the
other
hell,
ones.
YouTube? You always do this.
The three other points were like
Mark
guaranteed
Zuckerberg,
success in
man.
life. So
Yeah.
I can only say it
Well.
once. Sorry guys.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that'll have to bring you to the Apple podcast or the Google Play podcast
People
if you
can't
want to
call
hear
it
what he
in
said.
the middle of that.
Yeah. However, I would say my tips. You need a blow dryer, a hair straightener, spray wax, hairspray.
And a
Spray
wig.
wax, huh?
Yeah.
And it
What,
was
Sprays on its beeswax, but it's in
Oh.
a can. It sprays like hairspray.
Oh, do they sell that at like hair supply places or just like King
You
Supers?
can get them either place. Yeah.
Damn, that sounds awesome. Because I use like a pomade and hairspray,
Yeah.
but
That's.
I don't know.
I just switched to it. Yeah. So.
Because that's a pretty natural look. Like
Yeah.
that's the
it's
only product you use.
Just those two. Yeah. So I always do. I'll get out of the shower and blow dry it so it's nice and puffy, and then you straighten it so that it's straight.
I'm glad everyone
Obviously.
came
And
to
then-
hear about your morning routine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
It only takes me 4 hours.
And that's
so.
why you shouldn't start a band.
No. And then it's then I just throw some of that into there, throw some hairspray, kind of run fingers through it, and then kind of to one side, and there it is.
He whoops to one side.
Whoops to one side, and then
Do you use any product?
No,
How come?
love.
I'm lazy.
He
Dude,
uses
borrow
He uses it.
David's spray wax.
I just recently started using conditioner because I was told to. Because of color.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start using my conditioner now, but I was doing really good up until then. Like
really well.
Yeah.
really good. Okay,
Superman
David?
does good. You do well.
Don't start a band. Go to school. Learn grammar.
English major.
Learn and grammar.
Drummer.
English. Yes.
Now that we've established titles,
We finally just now did that. Hate you so
damn,
much.
like all my ending notes that I made, we covered in the beginning. I was going to talk to you about
shoot.
Post Malone,
Oh.
new member. I knew I was jumping the gun.
We can
asking
expand on those though.
Hair tips. Okay, so we didn't start with like one of the beginning questions. What got you into music?
Can I be generic again, or because we're going back what I was doing? So, you know,
I guess.
What would be your
The
generic?
people in the comments are gonna rip you up, though.
Music
Tear
is
Adam a new one.
everything I am, and everything I've done is no, actually. What got me into music was going back to mainly my dad. He raised me on a lot of classic rock and a weird amount of surf punk. But he always had music playing and always like kind of showed it to me, and so I got really exposed to it very early, and I got really interested in kind of just rhythm in general. I've always kind of been listening to the drum parts of things or how the flow.
When did you start playing drums?
Very tail end of elementary school, I think 6th grade.
Okay.
Because
Which was like 2017?
Yeah,
Got
exactly. So I've been playing for a year now, and no, that was
that long already.
yeah, time flies. Yeah, no. So I started playing when I was. How old are you when you're in 6th grade? I don't know. 11.
14.
Oh yeah, no, I was
It
also
took David a
12.
little while to get into school. But that's okay, because then you can end up in a successful rock band.
Yeah,
I was
successful.
driving in middle school.
No, but yeah, I then eventually kind of. My dad also introduced me to like Green Day, which is kind of my main inspiration. The band that made me want to be in a band and really play music as well.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely mesmerized by like watching live videos of Green Day, and I would always watch Trey Cool, and he always looked like he was having so much fun.
The faces he makes.
He looks like a toucan. It's great. I love it. I love him so much. He's my first and foremost, like he's my main inspiration.
Why don't you wear guy liner then?
Because
He
I
does, just
like
like
his drumming, not the guy liner.
What's wrong with guy liner?
Nothing.
You
Pete
against
Wins
guy liner?
Pete Wins would kick you in the face if he was here.
I wish.
Definitely. He's one of those people though that, well, I guess Trey Cool's kind of the same way, as they wore guy liner for so long that like as they've gotten older and stopped wearing it, they definitely look like have you ever seen your girlfriend without makeup and you go, what's wrong? Have you been crying?
Oh
She
my
goes,
God.
no. You go, are you tired? Did you just wake up from
Tired?
No, I'm not wearing any makeup. Oh, you look so beautiful now, bro. I like you.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say they've been wearing it for so long that it's just
Burned
become
into
part
them.
of them.
They always
It's
are
like when you
guy
leave
liner.
your TV on for too long,
It burns into
playing
it.
Skyrim, and all of a sudden the level up bars or the health and stuff. It's just
That would be
burned into your
crazy
plasma.
if it just like stained their eyelids.
It's just permanent.
Ow, always look
They got it
back then.
tattooed. That's the
lot of
ultimate
people do
emo thing.
Oh my God.
Tattoo on guy liner.
Dude.
You won't. Nobody will do it.
You won't. Could you imagine just being like 80 years old and you're fucking.
Are you wearing guy liner? No, I made bad decisions when I was 17.
This is just a phase. Well, it can't be anymore. this is for the long run. No, but yeah. Anyway, just go back to that. Just my main inspiration, Green Day, mainly like Trey Cool, and just seeing how they were in a band. Like, cause I watched these videos of them like backstage and like on stage and all this stuff, and it was just super interesting to me. And I thought I was like, this is what I want to do.
Nice.
So, yeah.
My answer's a lot nerdier than that. So I
don't know, that was pretty nerdy.
Just you wait. So I started to get into guitar, I think in like 7th grade ish. My dad played guitar when he was young, and we were out at my grandparents' house in Texas, and I found his old guitar, and we ended up taking it home, and he taught me how to restring it and stuff. And he never got really into it, but I picked up on it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It took,
What kind of guitar was it?
It was like some name
okay.
Miscellaneous.
classical.
Kroger.
Yeah, Kroger brand.
Walmart.
Classical acoustic guitar.
Nice.
And with a wide neck. And so I took a guitar class in 7th grade and met this kid named Jason Lacricchio, and he was like, dude, you know what band's awesome? Blink-182. And I was like, I'll have to check him out.
All right.
And so then I started to play like I started to pick I started to pick up
That
Blink songs, and but I didn't know that they were Blink songs because he was just teaching me how to play songs, and I was like, okay. And then Guitar Hero World Tour came out.
Okay.
And so I would play that, and my dad got us a mic stand and everything for the game, and we would play. I would play the guitar on it and sing, and Then
Okay.
my buddy, you might have known him. Do you remember Sean? He used to be in the band.
Yeah, he wore the puka shells.
So
Yeah.
he.
Yeah, but I got rid of him quicker.
You realize your
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah, I don't remember you with him, but
Yeah,
I
see,
remember that
I
being a
learned.
staple for his look.
So he would come over and we would play together, and then one of the songs on there was "Damn It,"
Oh, okay.
and so that was the first song that I learned on guitar by myself all the
Mhm.
way through. And then one day he was like, "Dude, you have to watch this video, this documentary on this band, because I swear they're exactly like us, but just successful in what they do." And I was
We are
like,
budgeting
"Okay."
them.
And so he throws it on, and it was All Time Low straight to DVD.
Yes.
And we watched that through it up, and literally that night we were like, "Dude, let's start a band." And this was like right as I'm learning how to play guitar and stuff. And
That goes against everything this podcast is about. We're done here.
We literally said, let's
You
start a
have-
band
you-
on this
You've
podcast.
just inspired people. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
what this
get
podcast
outta here.
is Not about.
think about how much debt I'm in.
For real
For real.
though.
Yeah, it's not good. You think college debt is bad?
Yeah.
We were on
Which
the
it
road,
is.
And we just took that roller coaster dive into Sombreville.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So,
But yeah,
all
that's
time
my
low
story.
DVD, and that's just.
Yeah, and so from there we looked for a bassist, and we had actually. Do you remember Trevor Alt? He was in.
I
He's in
yeah,
Fairgrounds.
I went to Arapahoe with him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was our bassist for like 15 minutes. And
Okay.
then he moved on to do his own stuff. Now he's super successful in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he helped us with some of the stuff that we'll have.
That
Coming
we're
out for
doing.
the rest
He's
of
Did
helping.
you guys
He helped
go
us
to
with our
Nashville
night.
to record?
We didn't go to Nashville for anything,
Oh, okay.
but that's where our producer Mike is located now. He moved there.
Yeah.
So
Everybody moved there.
yeah, I know, right?
Right? Everybody. I've seen it so much.
But yeah, so
I'm
there.
proud about it.
He was our bassist for a minute. We found another guy, and it just didn't work. And eventually, we did what everybody who's in middle school and wants to start a band does. And they were like, "Hey, friend, I know you're not interested in music.
Friend who doesn't play
Here's a
anything.
bass. Join us in the band." And he was like, "Okay." And so he did. And so we continued that on for a couple of years. That's
Yeah.
where we did the EP. And
Okay.
then Adam was in one of my classes in high school, and I was like, we just kicked out our drummer.
For
And
that band, yeah.
yeah, and I was like, "Hey man, do you want to try out?" And Adam was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how good I am. I want to be really good before I come to you guys." And we were like, "Yeah, no, it's okay. We have a ton of people who are gonna try out." So, and we're sitting there, we're like, "Do you think he's gonna call our bluff?" Like, that
They didn't have a
been looking,
single
Yeah,
yeah, we've
because
been
that could
looking
go-
for 6 months and we don't know
Yeah.
anyone. And eventually, it just got to the point where we were like, "Dude, do you play drums decently?" And he was like, "I mean, I'm okay." And we're like, "Dude, you're in the band. It's just
Done. Yeah.
And then from there, it's been debt and being let down by family members.
See, they say that, but
Letting
look 'em
down
up on
family
Facebook.
members.
Letting down family members and
Look them up on Instagram. You will see that you guys play some pretty decent shows.
Yeah.
not too bad.
I'm happy
See,
we've gotten a lot
where
of
I
opportunities.
fucked up, because like you guys probably started working on your fan base and stuff in high school and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Mm.
And that's what I noticed about you, like when you guys started coming up, 1,000 Miles of Fire is like in high school, I was
Yeah.
friends with people who wanted to be friends with me.
Right.
But other than that, like I should have busted hump in high school.
Yeah.
That's kind of actually immediately once we graduated, we went from easily being able to sell like 150 tickets
Yeah.
to a show to like. How many have we got? 15?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
College.
like
Everybody
we
was
post something on
awesome.
social media and it would get like well over 100 like
Yeah.
interactions of some sort of like likes or whatever, and a bunch of people were replying and interacting with us. Then we left high school and we kind of stopped being
30,
heavily
40.
associated with 5 Seconds of Summer, and then
Right.
we kind of just.
Yeah. How old are you guys?
I'm 22.
Yeah, I'm about to be 22. I'm 21 right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm turning 22 in like a month.
So soon, all those
To the-
people who went to college will come back, and that's where your resurgence fan base comes back, because they come
Yeah.
back from college and they can drink now.
Yeah.
So then
Drunk
And
people
we've
buy
had
things.
some people like
they
I've had-
buy things, they buy drinks.
I've reconnected with
Yeah.
people from high school too, and it's funny because
Same.
when we played Big Gig whatever year that was.
2016.
Yeah, 2016 when we.
Was it like a local stage or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I've done.
opened the local stage, but it was the biggest crowd of the local stage. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like headlining, but we did it first, and also
Mhm.
calling it headlining at an event where you're opening is stupid. So it was.
Yeah, headlining at an event,
It's
you're
an
opening on
odd
a
concept.
side stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There was probably a solid 1,500, 2,000 people there watching
Easily.
us. And,
Easily, like.
And I
at
had
least.
people hitting me up like, "Wow, I finally saw your band! Like, congratulations! I looked up your album and stuff." And I was like, "I remember that like you hated me in high school." So I'm,
Yeah, a lot of people were there
This
that I
is
had no idea were there.
interesting.
A good friend of mine, his girlfriend was there. Like, I don't think I'd met her yet. I knew she
Yeah.
existed, but hadn't met her yet. And to this day, I still give her crap that she didn't come up and say hi. But there's so many people that were there that I didn't know were there. Like, even just the other day at work, I work at a Guitar Center, and this girl, I have yet to tell you about this, but this girl came out to me.
offended.
Shut up. This girl came up to me and she was just saying like, "Hey, are you in a band?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Are you in Almost Maine?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow, somebody recognized me at work. That's cool." And
Especially because you're the drummer.
You're
So
in the
anyway-
back, so you're gonna have more people in front of you.
exactly. So, but she was saying like, "Yeah, I saw you guys at Big Gig." I'm like, "Oh my god, I had no idea." So yeah, that's it. It's
That's
cool
awesome.
it's cool. Like that show, a lot of people saw that we didn't know were there. So
Yeah.
it's cool to kind of to this day have people come back and say they saw us at that show or whatever.
I think the funniest moment though was that one time, because Adam and I went to the same high school
Mhm.
for 1 year, 2 years.
Where'd you guys go?
Highlands Ranch High School.
2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so 2 years. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So we were in the same school, and then Adam ended up leaving Highlands Ranch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so my senior year of high school, we got asked to play at the final senior assembly,
Yeah.
and we only got to play one song. So we played Pillow Talk.
Which
And-
was our most popular song at the time and still
Still is, yeah. And
Even after
we
we
went
wrote
through
it.
and played it, and the amount of people, like I was in the same band the entire time I was in high school, and we were doing things all
Yeah.
along the way.
Since sophomore year.
And
basically.
yeah, we were kind of doing okay by the end of senior year. Like we were getting some decent shows and stuff.
Mhm.
And I had people walking up to me and being like, "Oh my god, you're in a band?" And I was like, "Oh my god, how did you not know this?"
I tried to sell you tickets so
I
many times.
literally asked you if you wanted to come. But
Yeah.
even since then, like we got to play that one time, and I recently went to my cousin's graduation. He went to Highlands Ranch as well.
Yeah.
And so I saw some of my old teachers, and I walked up to 3 of them, and all 3, before they even finished saying hi, they were like, "Oh, how's your band doing?" And I was like, "That's so cool that you still follow
Yeah.
that." And
Yeah.
one of them told me he follows us on Twitter.
I
and
had
was
been
like,
"Damn,
I had been out
cool."
of that school for like 1 or 2 years at that point that we played at that when we played there for that one song.
Right.
And one of my old English teacher from freshman year came up to me, and I hadn't seen him in years, but he came up to me and was just like, "Wow, I didn't know you were capable of that." And I'm like,
Shout out to
Listen.
Brian Delmacos.
"I love you."
Yeah, I was talking to the Lycan about that, about how, you're in a band for that long, you promote shows, you do all this shit, and finally when someone's like, "I am sick of this person asking me to come to their shows," and then they come and then they talk to you afterwards and they go, "Oh, you're like in a real band."
Yeah, no, you don't just play in your garage. Yeah.
Yeah, why do they all, even in Colorado, why the fuck would I keep my shit in the garage?
It's cold.
Yeah.
I think my favorite iteration of that is when I always try not to tell people that I'm in a band until we have a show coming up or something.
Oh, that's the first
'Cause
thing on my phone
until it's
now.
relevant to bring it
It's-
up.
that's why I don't do it. Is because I feel
Yeah.
like most guys that are in bands, it's like, "Hi, my name's David. I'm in a band, by the way, but my name's
Okay,
David."
well, I don't do that.
He doesn't do the flexing. He means.
I just do it. You know what? The thing about me though is with the tattoos, a lot of times people will ask
Right.
if I'm in a band
That's
or
fair.
if I
Yeah,
play.
working at Guitar Center, a lot of people.
But they
actually
assume
ask
that I'm always in a hardcore band because of the ears and the
That's
tattoos.
fair.
Yeah, some guy actually came up to me one time and was just like, "All right, I know you're in a band. I can tell that much, but you're either in a metal band or a pop punk band." And I'm like, "You got me."
But one of the funniest things is like I'll not tell people about that, and then they'll be like, I'll mention something. They're like, "Oh, you play in a band?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, where can I hear your stuff?" Because people always want to do that and then be like, you're great, and then
Mhm.
they don't like your stuff because you're a local band.
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, you can look it up here. This is the song that I would suggest. And the reaction always coming back is like the same thing. They're like, oh my god, like you're in an actual
Yeah.
band.
I didn't know you were in
And
a
they're
band.
like, no offense, but when you said you were in a band, I totally was thinking like playing in your mom's basement. Like your mom comes down and is
You guys
like,
get together?
good job. Do you guys
Yeah.
want brownies? And to be
Yeah.
fair, that does happen still. And
You
we
have to
are
start
antici-
somewhere.
yeah, but it's
Play a
like
song, play video
we
games for
take,
us today.
we take it seriously, and it's funny that people. I don't know why that is. Why people
Yeah.
immediately assume that like, if you're not popular,
Yeah.
you're not good.
That
'Cause
you're
there's-
not trying.
Yeah.
It's
Some
like,
people think it's
you all
my
have to
own-
start somewhere.
My friends used to be like, oh, being in a band, like what do
Yeah.
you do? You're in a band, that's so easy. All you have to do is just play music. I'm like, oh my god. That nothing made me that mad. Like
I
ever.
cannot sigh long enough for
That hurts to
Yeah.
repeat too, cause like they understand now. They completely
Yeah.
understand now, but like back then, just nobody outside, unless you're in a band or actually looked into it, you have no idea how
Well,
much you have to put into it.
One thing that we've talked about forever is like you said, people think that you just play, and it's like you just get together and you play.
You find
Yeah.
First of
bars
all,
to
that
play.
that even by itself is incredibly difficult. Like
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get 4 people into the same spot at the same time is
to
so
play the
hard.
same shit.
Yeah, to do
Yeah.
it's that alone is tough. But then on top of that, I would say if we had like a pie graph of our entire time doing things together,
Spend
like
Yeah.
stuff.
25% of that is playing.
Maybe at
Maybe.
most.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like promoting and sitting down
Getting
and
a marketing
working
plan.
on spreadsheets
Right.
and
Yeah.
and writing.
Also, people think the
Stuff.
studio is super fun. It's not. It's super boring. You're sitting there. If you're not the one recording,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're just sitting there listening to the same 4 measures over and over again for hours.
Sitting up against a wall so you can charge your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Being
the
in the
best-
studio. Everyone's just like, oh, I want to be in the. See what it's like to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't.
Well, that's why we did a documentary, because I was like, I know this is gonna take a while, and I'm gonna have some fun doing it. Because when
Yeah.
there's a camera on, 9 times out of 10, I'm just gonna talk to hear myself talk, because I
That's
think
what
I'm
we
funny.
did too. We did a little documentary for stories and
Yeah, a little 10-minute kind
it
of.
was
You did?
Yeah, it's on our YouTube. It was done. It was all put together by Liv Thrush.
Oh, okay,
and-
yeah.
shout out to Liv Thrush for doing that.
Yeah, but
It's an awesome video. She
yeah,
did a great
it's
job.
like a 10-minute, just a bunch of clips. We have little
Nice.
bits of individual kind of interviews between the 3 of us, like me, David, and Michael, and
Yeah.
then just kind of talking about the process and have little dumb clips because we're idiots. So obviously we're doing dumb things in the studio.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll have to watch that because, I only ever saw you talking about the lyrics video.
yeah.
That's an
Um,
old one.
So yeah, so it's on a Almost Maine Band. Is it? Do we have a unique URL yet, or is it
I think
just
so.
like
I think it's-
WAS question mark slash?
No, I'm pretty sure it's almost made
Yeah,
official.
there's got to be like some sort of new.
Pretty
username.
The channel name is Almost Maine Official on YouTube.
Yeah,
What's
I think
ironic about you bringing up writing right is my YouTube channel. It says like, youtube.com/user/ and like I can't figure out how to change it, so it's
You have to-
/writing
Oh
right,
my gosh.
and I'm like, should I
That's-
just post it
Just
or?
go for it, whatever.
The Lycan actually told me that when you make a post, if you post the link on the actual post itself, it actually gets viewed less for some reason, and that's why a lot of times people will copy the link and like they'll say in the first comment below, there's the link.
Interesting.
Algorithms
I
are
don't-
so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but they told me that, and I was like,
Yeah,
I've
and-
royally been fucking myself.
Well, and that's
Yeah,
something that
right.
people don't realize too is like, you think, oh, well, this band just got this together and then they posted it. But it's like, you have to be careful of how many words are in your post,
Yeah.
what words are in your post, if you posted it directly or if you embedded it,
Yeah.
if you link it from somewhere else, where you're linking it to.
And the
where you-
algorithm
where you
changes
How
just
easy
all the
it is
time.
for people to get to.
Right, and it's like, and like he said, the algorithms are changing all the time. Like
So you
Twitter,
just have to keep updated with how it works because somebody has to figure it out.
right, and it's
And it's
whack.
insane.
Well, that's the thing, I think why videos on Facebook have become so popular, and like what we did is we put our music video on Facebook first.
Yeah.
Because
That's exactly what
it's kind of difficult nowadays to get people to go to YouTube because they have to click the link and it has to load for a second.
And they probably have to watch an ad. So.
Yeah, they probably have to watch an ad. It's like difficult. It's much easier to just post it on Facebook and then boost it.
Autoplays while you're scrolling past, probably. And
and then you get into the boosting. People don't realize how in depth that goes. Like
paying money.
Where should I?
Paying money to specifically direct this post at a very niche group of people.
Yeah.
To try to get.
Like, who should I send this to? How about people between the ages of 16 and 19 who listen to this band in this particular city or surrounding cities with the same population size?
And
like
their mom is a lawyer.
What?
And they have a German Shepherd that has one leg missing. So.
Dog
Somebody's
version,
like,
non-smoker.
Non-smoker. ASL is like
If your
male,
lyrics are
23.
420 friendly, do not send that way. I was talking to somebody the other day and they had no idea that, like, when you see a sponsored post, that money was put in there. And, like, generally, if you don't like or follow a lot of bands, when you see a sponsored post, especially if it's a band from a different state, that's a lot of money that went into that.
Because they geared it
post.
towards you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you're seeing that because you were in this small group of people that they directed it at, and they paid a lot of money for you to see it. So.
Well, you can make it pretty vast.
You can.
But you have, like, less interactions. Like,
Right.
a lot of people will see it, but, like, if you send it to those certain people, then you get, like, more guaranteed reactions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which
So
is-
you have to. There's a balance you have to do. You have to make it wide enough to where like you're getting a lot of people, but like narrow down enough so you're getting it to people that will actually care.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of what we did with Post Malone, and it did pretty successful.
pretty well,
But
Compared to
it's-
any other thing that we really did for like a video.
But it's wild how much work, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I would say most people, unless you're in a band or any sort
Yeah.
of business,
You have to promote something.
people don't realize how much work goes into that, and I think the other thing that people don't realize is that a band is it's like fun and stuff like that, but it's a business. It's not.
Yep.
It's not all fun and games, and it's not as serious as like, working for Google or something like that.
Yeah,
But
you're not in a
you don't
cubicle,
have
but,
nearly
like,
as much responsibility or anything like that, but it's a business and you run
I
it.
don't
Like
know,
we
there's
pay
a lot of
taxes.
responsibility.
Well, there is, but I
Yeah.
should say you don't have to hold yourself to
You don't
like
have to
professional
be on
standards.
you have to clock in and clock out from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's more like you show up 10 minutes late and you work for 10 hours straight, and then you're like, all right, I'm hungry.
Like that story that I was telling today to Sean. One of the things that we did on our album was we had, like I said, we didn't book enough studio time,
Yeah.
and just like working overtime at a job, what happened is that we had 2 days left to do all the vocals, and so the lyrics had to be finished for the 3 remaining songs in
Yeah.
this track. So I woke up Monday at 6 a.m., went to work for 8 hours, went directly from work to the studio, tracked vocals for 5 hours, went home at, I guess it would have been like 11, something like that, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Wrote lyrics and finished the songs until 6 a.m. Then went back to work for 8 hours, went back to the studio, tracked 5 or 6 more hours of vocals, and then went home and slept. So I woke up Monday at 6 a.m. and went to bed for the first time and on Wednesday at 1 a.m. It was crazy, but it was either do that or songs weren't going to be on the album, and it's like you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And like you said, even though I was making money at work, that money's immediately being spent at this second job.
Yeah,
I
Way
give
better.
so much more of myself to the band than I do to myself.
Oh, easily.
I
show
literally
up
do
just like,
band work.
hey,
at my
how can I
other
help
job.
you today?
They
Like,
ask me to stay 5 minutes late, and I go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I go in this whole thing, and then I anticipate
work-
to have a hour band practice, and it turns into 3 or 4 hours.
yeah, you'll
You're
work
like,
deep
awesome.
into the night.
Do we need to go any longer? Do you guys feel good about this?
Yeah.
Like, nope.
We've done band
We need to
stuff.
go for another 4? Awesome, let's do it.
I remember we were watching old videos of like the old band stuff, like little videos you did. There was like a point where it was like that was a much smaller scale, but still like this similar amounts of like how much time you put in this. Like you were like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
like trying to get to work on this song that didn't come out well
Yeah.
because you guys didn't know what you were
Recorded
doing
it on
yet
an iPod.
on GarageBand. Yeah, but that's
not even a joke.
totally a different scale, but
Right.
it's still accurate. You're still working until way into the night,
Yeah.
working on whatever you're trying to work on, whether it be a marketing plan or how to like you've worked on artwork for like
Hours.
promoting and like
Yeah.
just something to post.
Do you do your own artwork?
For the most part, yeah.
Not always, yeah. So
I
if
think
it's a big project, we get somebody.
Yeah.
so
we
stories,
commission somebody basically.
stories we commissioned Mike Cordata, who did all of A Day to Remember's artwork.
And a
Oh,
lot of
he did it
promotional
for us.
artwork for Pierce the Veil, All Time Low. Like
Yeah,
he
he
does a
does
lot of.
basically
It did kinda
anybody
have
in the
that
scene.
style.
Yeah, so he worked with us on it. I still can't believe that. My favorite thing
Oh,
is we were
yeah.
having a conversation and I was like, "Hey man, we're looking for an artist for our album. Like, how much do you charge?" And he was like, "What's your budget?" And we were like, "Well,
Yeah.
we're kind of looking to spend about $400 maximum on artwork." Like
Yeah.
thinking that was gonna be like
A lot.
way under, and he
Yeah.
was like, "All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll do your front cover for 500." And we were like, "Sick, yeah, let's do it." And he was like, "All right, but we kind of got to make it a little bit quick because Marvel just contacted me to work on something." And I'm like, "Dude, why are you even bothering?"
Why'd you even respond?
Yeah. I was like, you have
Holy
bands like
shit.
A Day to Remember, All Time Low, Pierce the Veil, and now you have Marvel asking you, and he was doing I
Basically
don't know.
Disney.
Yeah, it's like
themselves
and
contacting you.
but he still worked with us, and I still can't
Yeah.
believe that he's done that, and he's
That's
even
cool.
offered to work with us in the future.
It was an honor.
'Cause he
to
liked
get
us,
him to do
but,
that, yeah.
But yeah, most of our artwork I end up doing
Yeah.
because my high school teacher gave me a free copy of Illustrator, and
And you've
somehow I
been-
still have it.
Yeah, and you know how to use it, so
That's
Yeah.
right.
and we just put the ideas down. We have the ideas, we just need something to like be able to put it on something, and
Yeah.
you know how to do that. So
Well, that takes out a whole.
middleman, yeah,
Yeah.
and a little big chunk of
Saves a
money.
lot of money.
Save a lot
Now
of
if we
money.
only knew somebody who could do our recordings, who was in the band.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, because the
Saves
thing
money.
about that is like, recording costs a lot of money.
It does.
But at the same
ton.
time, those people who are good at recording, like, honestly, you can't really ask them for much of a deal. Because, like,
right.
Yeah.
yes, it costs a lot of money, but those, I mean, Taylor Hahn especially spends so much
Mhm.
time late into the
That
night,
stuff is
early
grueling.
mornings.
I've talked to
Yeah.
like Taylor Hahn, Nick Noder, Mike Anderson, like they
Yeah.
all
They've perfected their craft.
they
Yeah,
they
they do
do
a good
this
job.
painstaking
Yeah.
process, which I've sat in on some times where they're like editing something or mixing something and it's boring. It is
Yeah.
Well, especially
boring.
Mike editing the vocals. It's so funny because he'll play like a quarter of a beat